Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and today we got to talk about this brand new uniform for Dr. Voodoo, his Savage Avengers uniform. And I can't lie to you guys, when I saw that this man was getting another uniform, I was fully expecting them to shaft him. I was fully expecting the uniform to be a major skip, to just be a dud, to be a rehash of what we got last time, even though last time made him a little bit better than when he was initially released. But thankfully, that's actually not what they did this time around. This version of Dr. Voodoo is actually very good. And depending on the game modes that you play, this might actually be a must buy. Like, if I had to choose one uniform to pick up from this update, if I was a free to play or a low spender and I already had this Rage Returned uniform for Ghost Rider, it would have to be Dr. Voodoo for a couple different reasons. Right, first and foremost, primarily because of his new uniform bonus, giving him 50%, rather giving all the universal characters 50% extra damage to supervillains and 20% damage reduction from them as well. And that you can see right here is a big list of characters, most notably Null, Sentry, Doctor Doom, Thanos, Jean Grey, Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider, etc. Plenty of heavy hitters in here. Now, with Null being front and center, think about it. TBA, if you play Team Battle Arena and you want to juice up your Null when Agent Venom is banned, right away you can slot in somebody else to give your Null more damage against the enemy Nulls or enemy supervillains. You can put him with Thanos to juice up your Thanos, your Doom, your Sentry, etc. So right away, he's looking like a really good option for TBA. Not so much for the other PvP game modes, but still, it's value that he didn't have previously. So right away, that's very good for someone like me that plays TBA. But if you don't play TBA, there's other value to him. Like, for example, right now, he is now one of the meta characters for ABX and ABL if you are chasing scores and you like to see big numbers. It's a big if. So right here, round 3, which is Saturdays, and it's the Scarlet Witch Day. The best team currently looks something like this. It's Big Nova with either Ghost Panther or Ronan. And the reason why is because Ronan gives you 40% extra damage to supervillains, and he gives you that ignore dodge, but you also get up to 20% all attack from his artifact. And in the case of Big Nova, it's a similar situation. Big Nova is passive. Let me show you, right? It gives you 40% extra juice to supervillain, and then you have his artifact, if you have it at 6 stars, giving you an additional 15%. So 40 plus 15, that's 55. You couple that with Ronan or Ghost Panther, you're looking at some really good damage for your Scarlet Witch, and she's been locking down this day consistently for quite some time. So right now, the best team is actually going to look something like this. It's going to be Voodoo and Big Nova, because Voodoo is coming in with a flat 50, right? Plus, Voodoo also gives you ignore dodge as well. We'll touch on that in a second, but Voodoo's uniform bonus giving you that 50 effectively removes Ghost Panther from the equation, because Ghost Panther is giving you fire damage, and that stuff does not apply to Scarlet Witch, right? Ronan, even with the artifact, I still think 50% extra damage to supervillains is better than 40 plus 20% all attack. I think that 20% all attack brings it close, but I still would lean more towards Voodoo. So right now, this I think is what the best team is going to be if you want to score as much as possible on Saturdays with Scarlet Witch. Moving on to ABL. If you don't care about ABL and stuff, you can skip over this stuff, but it's for people who actually care about the meta and want to keep up to date with that stuff, right? So round 13 right here, you either use Thanos as your DPS or you use Loki. Now you can see my Loki is still at tier 3. I despise playing with Loki. I hate the playstyle. It's so inconsistent. It requires that you run this thing multiple times or get extremely lucky to get the high scores, even if you're running him with a Brilliant. So I rather run Farmer Thanos and just have a more consistently easier time playing, and I can just cruise to 12 to 13 million consistently. Now this is the team that I use. I use Beta Ray Bill, even though there ain't nothing beta about my guy, and then I throw in either Ronan or we throw in Ghost Panther, whichever one you want to run. However, now with Voodoo in the mix, you throw in Voodoo over Beta Ray Bill, because Beta Ray Bill is only giving you 35%. Right here at the bottom, my face is cutting off part of it, but you can see this side right here, right? Beta Ray Bill, let me just go over to him for any of you guys that would rather see it that way. He's only going to give you 35, and obviously 35 is less than 50. Now I run my Beta Ray Bill with a Brilliant Insight, and it's rolled nicely, so I'll probably keep him on the team and just swap out either Ronan or Ghost Panther and put Voodoo in that way. So right away, you can see they actually did pretty decent here for Voodoo. Again, not for everyone, but he now has a place in TBA when there's penalties in effect on your support characters for your nulls and your sentries and whatnot. And then he also has a place in ABX and ABL. And we're not even talking about his base kit yet. And then in World Boss, this is more for mid-tier players. Like if you're a super whale or you're super advanced, then Voodoo's not going to do much for you in terms of helping you to push the high levels in World Boss Legend. For example, let me show you right here. He's restricted at the higher levels, but like starting off all the way up to 14 against Thanos, you're going to be able to use Voodoo, because keep in mind, he's a male, human, universal superhero, right? So, and he has the command and magic ability. He does not have leadership, unfortunately, right? But if you look after 14, he's locked out, I think, all the way up to 60. Then you can use him again, but it's going to take quite some time to get here. And then after that, you can't use him at all anymore as a support. We go over here against Ebony, and it's kind of the same thing, right? He's really useful at the lower levels. As you can see, you can use him all the way up to stage 29 to juice up your universal characters. And then after that, he gets locked out, but then he comes back into play at 45 all the way up to 49 there, and then he gets locked out again. So again, I can see value in Voodoo, but it's more so for people who didn't rush to clear all of the earlier stages. But there's a couple, as you can see, there's a couple stages that he's actually useful for at the higher level. So right here from 80 to 84, you can use him, and then right here from 90 to 94, you can use him and Storm together, because Voodoo has the command tag. Okay, so he's not completely worthless. Don't let people tell you that he's a major skip or anything like that, but you can see that his value is primarily for people who are struggling at the lower levels or in the mid-range. So lower to mid-tier support, you're looking for one of those, Voodoo is your guy. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. And then I think for Swan, it's kind of the same deal again. Yeah, he gets locked out after 29, and he doesn't come back until you get to like 50, which I'm about to use him. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I will tier 4 Dr. Voodoo, and I would have tier 4'd him today if I had gotten his potential. Now I do have a couple potential tickets, but if I'm already at 75% and I'm guaranteed the next 25% tomorrow, I figured, why am I going to waste a ticket when I could just wait one more day? And I'm actually going to tier 4 him because I see value in him as a support. And for some people, they don't see it, right? But for me, saving 1 minute from all 5 of my fights in World Boss, because World Boss is the one thing, well, not just World Boss, but is one of the things that you want to do every single day, because you want to farm up that tier 4 material so you can tier 4 your favorite character to make the game more fun for you that way, right? But if I can save a minute off of each of my clear, that's 5 minutes that I can go do something else in real life, or 5 minutes I can do something else in the game to get all of my shit done faster, so I can go do something else with my kid or something, right? So these days I'm actually tier 4ing a lot more support characters than I have previously. For example, I recently, very much so, I think I told people I was gonna do it, but I did Mystique, did make a video on her. I also did Riri. I'm thinking about whether or not I'm gonna do Groot, but I also did Ancient One, right? You guys, if you want to see a video on Ancient One, let me know. But I did it because Ancient One has the leadership tag, which means I can throw him in with Thor, I can throw him in with Ghost Rider, and I can also throw him in with Storm because he's blast, and then because he can switch to female, and you know, I figured there's a lot of value there. And then also for stage 19 Thanos, which was one of the deciding factors in whether or not I was going to tier 4 him, her, they, them. The stage 19, it requires that you use Ancient One. So I figured now was the time for me to tier 4 Ancient One. Not about Ancient One, but I'm just kind of letting you guys know where my mind is at and why I see so much value in Voodoo. And it's just because I've gotten to the point now where I have majority of the DPSs at tier 4. So now I'm looking at support characters, and I think he has value even for me, somebody who's been playing the game for quite some time, and I'm pretty far along in World Boss. So if you're not as far as me, I can see value in him, and his kit overall is pretty good. His skills are super flashy. The one thing I don't like is the fact that they're all purple, so it can flood the screen and make it so that some of the most dangerous attacks, the purple attacks from the bosses, if you play him as a DPS, you can die because you can't see sometimes, right? But his rotation is very simple. It's just 3, 4, 5. You proc on 5. It's a super smooth, fast V-pad, which I like. I hate the super slow, sluggish V-pads like Luna Snows. So I actually like that. And he's proc friendly. I had a CTP of energy on him for a while now, so that's cool. The only thing I wish they had changed is his 4-star passive. It's still kind of shit. It's only really going to be useful in Shadowland because you can't apply the poison to anyone, so that kind of sucks. But besides that, I think they did a good job on Voodoo. Like, ease of use is there, the survivability is there because he has a decent heal and a V-pad with the 5th skill here, and it's an iframe, right? So the survivability is there. The rotation for him, very simple, 3, 4, 5. That's it. All right, lots of hits and good damage. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit at level 70. I was gonna wait and then show y'all how he does at level 80 and then tier 4, but I'll give you guys a little taste, a small taste of Voodoo here today. Let's see what we got. Kang. All right, so the best we had was stage 9 Kang, just because of the restrictions. So I figured instead of that, we'll do this. Stage 89 against Gore. Let's see how we do. Now Gore is pretty annoying because he does a lot of purple attacks, and as you can see, they're hidden by Dr. Voodoo's purple attacks, which is one of the things that I warned you guys about. So you just kind of have to be careful. So we're just hitting and dodging, sticking and moving, kind of. I love the fact that they gave him a really quick V-pad, and it's also an iframe. Like, if it wasn't also an iframe, just the fact that it's all colored purple would be very, very bad for him. Because it just makes it so you can't see a lot of the purple attacks from the boss and stuff. It's also cool that his one, sorry, not his one, his 2 is a full iframe as well. I'm trying to save some of the juice for this clown when he comes out. There we go. Okay. Let's go. Keep in mind that he's level 70. So this is actually pretty impressive that he can do it. Or attempt it anyways. He's doing damage. It's nice that he gets ignore dodge built in, but we also have a little bit of ignore dodge from the CTPF energy, and it's just a regular energy too. However, do keep in mind that Voodoo is in the Midnight Suns team up collection, so if you have that one leveled up already, that's even more reason as to why you could find value in the character over somebody else. Let me just get this guy to come up here. Gore is dodging a lot of our attacks because he moves around a lot. So ideally we want him to stay in range of the 4 because it does like an eruption of purple energy damage from the ground. So we're trying to drag him back over here. Boy. He keeps dodging by jumping into iframes and stuff. Okay. Dodge that. And we have him. At least have him in the 3rd phase now. We'll see how it goes if we can actually finish it up. But again, pretty impressive for a level 70. For a level 70, this is pretty good. If I had a rage on him, I think he would do even better just because the rage ignores some of the damage reduction from the boss and stuff. A lot of it, actually. So, had a 4 miss there because I was impatient. I need to make him jump again. And then boom, 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 boom. Doing pretty decent damage to him. But I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it up though. It's because he moves so much. Yeah. Okay, we have to try and dodge that purple. Alright, so it looks like we're not going to be able to pull it off. We're going to have to come back and pound on this guy again when we get up to level 80 just for a little bit of a revenge, you know? Because these days I don't fight these guys as my boss of the day. So, anyways, I think this is pretty impressive for a level 70 character. But his primary value is what I mentioned to you as a support in the specific pieces of content if you care about those pieces of content. So keep that in mind. Right here, he is actually in the Midnight Suns team up collection, and this is one of the very first, actually this is the first team up collection, so most of you guys should have this leveled up. I have it at 16 as you can see, and that's from me just playing ABX, ABL, and just collecting the tokens over time. So if you've been doing that, this might be your most like high level or whatever team up collection you decided to invest in. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Voodoo. I think he's good. People are calling him doo-doo. I don't think that's the truth, but we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.